guys, Constant Angler. Talk to you today about flukes. What is a fluke? What do we call a fluke? Well, what I call a fluke is a shad imitation lure. So it's got a profile of sort of a bait fish with a split tail or a pin tail or a small sort of flat paddle on the end. So we're not talking about shads where they've got circular etc paddle tails. It's not a real paddle, it's just a flat section at the end. And we're trying to imitate bait fish, obviously. If you look at a lot of these in front of you, that's exactly what they're trying to do. The colours, it's all the usual colours, lifelike colours such as these. This is sort of a perchy colour, something I thought would be of interest that I'm going to try for wrasse. I haven't tried that one yet. I have been caught on that. Shady colours there, favourite pinks, blues, and then these here I've caught on this one here, the golden sort of colour, but these I haven't, but I'm going to experiment with because I don't know if you know my views on colours and lures we use for wrasse. I don't think we're adventurous enough at all. Yes, we definitely want to copy the prey fish that they're finding, but why would they be different to any other fish such as perch, other predatory fish? If they see something, it will either annoy them or interest them. They see things differently to us anyway. They don't see colours as we do, as far as I can tell. So sometimes I think the contrast, a bright lure doesn't look as bright to them, but it might just stand out in certain conditions, water conditions. If the water's more turbid, a bit milky, stained, all these kind of things come into play. So yeah, experiment. Why do I like flukes? Well, I like flukes. I like the action you get with flukes. You can fish these on drop shots if you want. No, I don't do a lot of drop shotting for wrasse, tend to lose a lot of gear, but it's definitely durable. On Texas rigs, so you're sort of bouncing them up and down, but these tails, as you can see, they vibrate and shake, and I think they're a very underused wrasse bait. People tend to go for shads or stick baits, Senkos, that kind of thing, but these flukes really work for me. So let's do some of my favourites then. Let's start off at the top, and we've got a few classics. So we've got a Zoom fluke tail goby. So obviously we're trying to imitate a goby here. You can get them in other colours other than this green pumpkin that I got them in. They are more difficult to source Zoom lures these days, but you know, I think Mr. Fish in Jersey does them, AGM have them in. You don't have to buy the Zoom ones. I find they work, they're great. You can buy other types that you find. Another type we have here, another classic, is a Hazdong Original, and as you can see, this is more of a pintail on this one. It's a reasonable size, it's about 4 inches. I think the Zoom is 4 1/4 inches. Yeah, great lure, that caught me lots of bass, not to mention wrasse even. Secret's out. These are Drennan Esox lures, so you know they're made for freshwater. They're very small. I would say they're probably just about 3 inches, but this little devil there, I was going to swear, has caught me wrasse on difficult days. Catches small ones, but I've had a few, you know, 2 pounders on that, so that's not particularly small wrasse, is it? My absolute favourites are the Big Bite Baits jerk minnows. Now in my previous video that I did on shads, I called the shad version of this the jerk minnow. Obviously it's not, it's the Big Bite Bait shad, but this is the jerk minnow. I have them in several colours. This is a new acquisition from AGM, so it's in bubblegum. Another one in watermelon gold flake, which is that one. Another one, watermelon red ghost, you know, they're all 4 inches, which is that one. And another one in a colour that I can't really read. But as you can see, these are lures I've had for a while and I use a lot. Started with this, the shady sort of colour, and bought some more because they work. Moving around, this is a Fish Arrow Flash J 4-inch. Hasn't got a colour on there, but oh yes it has. It is Kosan AU Silver. Not sure what the Kosan stands for, but yeah, it's an AU silver sort of colour. They're fantastic lures. They're also great bass lures, so you know, try them for that. Another new acquisition here. Haven't tried them yet. Heard good things about Crazy Fish lures. This is a floating glider in 3.5 inch. Pink again. You can get them in lots of colours. Got this off AGM. They stink. They smell a bit rotting maggoty to me, a bit of ammonia or something there. I don't know what it is. I presume they work. I've no experience with Crazy Fish lures. As it says, they're floating, so they're a bit like Z-Man lures. I don't know whether they're as tough. They're pretty tough lure actually, but I'll say that, let the tails come off. So obviously no, they're not made of elastic like Z-Man lures. That'll still work. Good job I got a few of them then, isn't it? This is a Skippy Fish. Now it's a large one. This is a good 5 inches. This is as big as I go. On days when they're nipping at tails, then no, I wouldn't use this lure, and it's obviously for big wrasse, and maybe if I think there's a chance of a bass around. But a lot of the time the wrasse hit the head of the lure anyway. You can see this one has a belly slot, which some of these others do as well. You look at the Big Bite Baits, has a belly slot. I'm a big fan of lures with belly slots. These, as I said, they're an AliExpress lure, very cheap, made by Walkfish. Who Walkfish are, I don't know. Lots of different colours though. I saw them on AliExpress and I thought, you know what, I can't get out of these colours easily here in the UK, so I'll have some of those. Let's pick out the other lures we have here. So next along is this lure here, which is a Daiwa Detail. It's in 4 inch. It's a nice small little lure, but it works. They catch a lot of fish. Very good lure for wrasse. Not the cheapest Daiwa lures, but can be relied upon. As you can see, that one there cost me £6.99 for 8. That's a lot of money for lures these days, but if they work and they're good, then buy them and fish them with confidence, which is what I do. This little lure here now, and this is one of my favourites. I caught a nice £3 wrasse on this on a day when nothing had touched anything. I saw the wrasse, I flicked this lure out on the lightest of leads I could use, and it inhaled it. They are, I forget, I just love the colours on these. I know chap I know down in Cornwall, he uses these on cheb rigs. They're so lifelike, they've got sort of a pinky hint in there as well, and they are Snowbee Stinger lures. They're only about 3 inches, 3¼ inches, something like that. But you don't have to use massive lures for wrasse. You know, we always think, you know, 4 inches is standard, 4 inch will work anywhere. But anything from 3 inch to 5 inch will work. You will catch them on smaller lures. The LOF guys pick up big wrasse on their lures. You will even catch them on bass lures, bigger bass lures. But the bigger the lure, the less likely you are to catch small fish. The more likely you are to pick up bigger fish, and even the bigger you start going with a lot of these lures, the more likely you are to pick up a bass running around the edges in the gullies. So retrieves with these lures, well, let's talk rigs first. So you can fish them on your usual Texas rigs, Jika rigs, drop shot rigs if you want, and cheb rigs are particularly good with these lures. Cheb rigs are great lures for wrasse anyway, but as I've mentioned before, the wire isn't always strong enough on the chebs that we buy. They're generally made for perch fishing, wonderful fish, the perch, but they don't pull like a wrasse. I've caught perch, got nice perch up to over £3 from a local canal, and they fight, but nothing like a wrasse. Nothing fights like a wrasse as far as I'm concerned. They really pull, which is one of the major attractions with wrasse fishing. So all your normal standard rigs will work. You can fish them on weedless jig heads if you want. Some of you're going to struggle with some of these really small ones. Bearing in mind you need good strong hooks, so you don't want fine wire weedless jig heads, which is generally what you're going to find. You need things like these Snowy hooks. Okay, they're discontinued, but I did show my video yesterday, shads, some new ones I'm trialing. I do a mix of where I order from, AGM, lots of other tackle shops as well. Veals may order, you know, support all these tackle shops, especially now. That's enough of that anyway. So retrieves, how do we retrieve? If you're on a drop shot, you obviously tap in the rod tip, or tap in the slack as I call it, and you're just getting these to, they remain level or levelish, and then just shake the tails and shake the lure. It's very easy to retrieve with a drop shot. You can lift it and wind it back towards you. If you're fishing Texas rigs, I usually the standard sort of up, down, let it work a bit on the pause, give it a shake if you want, up, down, keep them within a foot, 2 foot maximum of the bottom. If you're fishing them on Jika rigs, I like to be quite delicate with these on Jika rigs, so not large weights, and the Jika rig keeps things a little bit more horizontal, so as you bump it along the bottom they'll be doing this. Do your normal lifts and down. Great in deep water, the Jika rigs. Have a look at my Jika rig video, there's a lot of detail in there. There's also one on there for Texas rigs. I will do Cheb rigs and other rigs as I go along. So yeah, Texas rigs, up and down, up and down. Your normal standard retrieves, you can drag along the bottom, you can up and down it, vary it, you can shake it. They're quite versatile lures actually as regards retrieves. So all that remains to say really is thanks for watching my videos. Really do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give me some feedback. You know, good or bad. We all do things differently. I'm not saying I'm an expert, I'm just showing you what works for me. If it doesn't work, I don't show you it. I'm not here to just dream things up and make things up. These are all things that have worked for me and caught me fish, and they will you too. Cheers.